All right, fellas, it's time to make our picks here. Mizzou Football Fridays on a Wednesday, the Big 550 KTRS, and we'll close it with our thoughts on Mizzou. But let's get to some games, guys. Thursday's got some big ones, not just Mizzou and Louisiana Tech. I like this game, Dave, in the Big Ten. Purdue hosting Penn State. The Nittany Lions favored by 3.5. This is, a lot of people, I think, hot to trot for both Purdue and Penn State as kind of, Purdue more of a dark horse. Penn State's always in the mix in the East, but this has got a lot of intrigue and a fun way to kick off Thursday night. Well, let's make a pick here, fellas. Purdue, 3.5-point home dogs to Penn State in this one. And again, Dave alluded to it, Purdue always good for one of these crazy upsets, like one per year. I don't think this is it. Purdue's lost 9 in a row to this Penn State team. I like the Nittany Lions to win on the road and cover the 3.5 points. Dave?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think it's going to be all that close either. So, yeah, I got Penn State with the points.
I'm with you guys. I think Penn State makes a statement, and I think it'll be the first of many they make this season.
We all like the Nittany Lions going 1-0 starting at in West Lafayette, Indiana, Thursday night. Guys, let's move to, and we'll start to speed it up a little bit here. Let's get to some of the big games, the ranked games on Saturday. Number 11, Oregon at number 3, Georgia. Dave, the Dogs are favored by 17 going up against their old defensive coordinator, now the head coach at Oregon.
Yeah, really interesting kind of chess match here because you figure Dan Lanning, Oregon's new coach, he's going to know Georgia's offense inside and out. But also, Georgia's staff, they're going to know Dan Lanning's defense inside and out. So it'll come down to who has the better players. And I think Georgia has the better players. I do think it'll be close for a while. I don't see Georgia just running away with this thing early. It's not a home game, but it's in Atlanta, so it's close enough. They'll definitely have the crowd there. But, yeah, nobody's knocking off Georgia this early. As much as we may like, Lanning in Oregon, he's not doing it yet.
Yeah, guys, I think Georgia wins. I got them in the college football playoffs, so they can't stumble here. But here's the deal. That's too many points, I think, for the situation with a staff that's going to know everything the Bulldogs want to do. Now, stopping it is something else, but there's too much familiarity there with schemes, with players, with abilities, and Oregon is a good team. I mean, they're ranked 11th entering this season, so 17 in Atlanta feels a little too much for me. I think this is probably a much closer game, so I'll take Georgia to win, but I got Oregon to cover.
I like Georgia to win and Oregon to cover as well. I think it's a low-scoring game, and if it's low-scoring, 17 is just way, way too much. Dave, do you like Georgia to cover or Oregon?
I like Georgia to cover. I've got to stick with my picks I made at stltoday.com yesterday. Can't be inconsistent. I picked Georgia 34-14, so I'm going to stay behind that.
How about number 7, Utah, favored by 3 at Florida, Dave?
Utah, I've got in the playoffs, and they can't do that without winning this game. Even if they run the table in the Pac-12, I think they're going to need some help.
Well, Davis talked me into Utah just like we talked him into Illinois over Indiana. So he's convinced me that Utah is going to roll, and I think that it will remind Florida that they've got to be a little patient with their new coach there. The Gators won't like it, but I think maybe there's not the proper respect level for Utah football in Florida like there should be, like there will be after this eye-opening game.
I'm waiting for Florida to unleash Anthony Richardson. Hasn't happened yet. I think Utah plays a little SEC-style old man football. We all like Utah, guys. I like Utah as well, minus the points on the road, taking down the Gators. One more before we get to Mizzou. It's the big one, Ohio State. Number 2, hosting number 5, Notre Dame. Ben, Buckeyes favored by 17.
Ohio State, I've got them in the college football playoff. I know that I won't spoil Dave's controversial Notre Dame take here, but I think this is a statement for Stroud, and I think this is a statement game for Ohio State. I think Notre Dame's going to be better under their new direction, under their coach. I like the way they're recruiting. I like the vibe, but Ohio State is locked and loaded, and everybody kind of expects them to be a total Alabama-like force in the Big Ten this year. So I'm going to take Ohio State.
Dave?
I have both of these teams in the playoff. Notre Dame, obviously, someone's going to have a loss if they're going to make it because they're playing each other. And Ohio State's going to win. There's no doubt. I think they're probably going to cover too just because their offense, there's no excuse for them not to score a ton of points every week because they've got everybody back. Not everybody. They got Chris Olave and James and their other receiver, not Jamison Williams, but the other one they lost. But they've got great running back. They've got Stroud back. They've got the great receiver back. They're going to score a ton of points. Notre Dame, I think, is going to get better as the season goes on, but I don't think they're going to be ready for this kind of attack right off the bat. And I expect Ohio State to roll in this one.
Yeah, Tyler Buckner making his first start, I think, for Notre Dame, and they think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be ready for that in the shoe. I like the Buckeyes. I like them to cover. Sounds like we all take Ohio State. So that leaves us with Mizzou, Louisiana Tech tomorrow night. Tigers favored by around 19 here. Ben, what do you think week one for the Tigers?
Hey, Mizzou's going to get off to a good start. Mizzou's going to win and really turn up the volume on that Kansas State game. But I've said it from the jump, 19 just seems like too much, and it's not because I'm totally worried about what we're going to see from Mizzou. I think La Tech is pretty good, so I think it's a 2-touchdown type of game, one where you don't get to send in the the reserves. You got to play this one all the way through, and that'll be good for Brady Cook and his guys. He needs as many reps as he can before a tough road trip to K-State. So I've got Mizzou starting off with a win, but I don't think they cover.
I know Ben's got a roll. Dave, some thoughts here for the Tigers against Louisiana Tech.
A lot of the same sentiments. I think Missouri is going to be fine. I think they're the better team, but this is one of those kind of mysterious games because we just don't really know a lot about Louisiana Tech yet. I think we have a much better feel for the other tough games Missouri plays this month. We know who K-State is. We pretty much know who Auburn is. Now, new coach, new system, new quarterback at Louisiana Tech, just a tougher read. So I think this could be for Missouri like a very competitive game if Louisiana Tech is better than anybody really expects. And it also could be a blowout. What if the Sonny Cumbie thing just doesn't work out right off the bat? And Missouri is, this offense is just clicking, like in midseason form, and Brady Cook comes out with this spectacular debut. Missouri quarterbacks have had some pretty good first careers. I know it's not his first career start, but his first time as a season opening starter. Think about Blaine Gabbert at the Dome. Think about Brad Smith at the Dome. We've seen guys come out and just look awesome, and maybe that's Brady Cook. But I think Louisiana Tech covers. I picked 37-23.
I'm with you, Dave. I think there's so many unknowns here. I would not, if you're looking to pick this game, wager this game, too many unknowns for me to pick the spread. I'd actually take the over and the over-under. It's like 61.5. But I'll take Mizzou. Yeah. Dave, I'll take Louisiana Tech to cover. In that same sort of 37-24 type of range where Mizzou could still win comfortably and not cover. That is certainly a possibility. Dave, appreciate it. Ben, appreciate it. Look for all of their coverage in STLtoday.com as this game gets going and all of their great Mizzou coverage, and we'll bring you it as well tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, Mizzou and Louisiana Tech, right here on the Big 550.